everyone, and welcome to this evening's UN Pathways event. For those of you who have been following UN Pathways for these many years, we are now the UN Pathways Forum, no longer the UN Pathways Lecture. And that is in deference to our new format, which I will describe to you momentarily. In the meantime, let me introduce myself. I'm Jason Scorza. I'm Associate Provost for Global Learning at Fairleigh Dickinson University. It is my pleasure to welcome you here tonight and to go over some of the ground rules. First of all, this program will be video recorded, so we ask that you turn off any cell phones, pagers, beepers, bumpers, and things that go ping. We ask also that you be mindful if you need to move around the room during the program. Footsteps and such get picked up very easily on the microphones, which are extremely sensitive. So I just ask that you tiptoe if you need to move around. I would like also to express my thanks to the staff and students of the Office of Global Learning, Dr. Joanne Murphy, who leads our UN Pathways team, Laura Rios and Jillian Cadet. These programs, I'm told, do not organize themselves. They put a lot of hard work into them, and they have my gratitude, I think all of our gratitude for doing so. Now, our program tonight will consist of a conversation between our friend Ambassador Kamal, who is now known as the Grand Inquisitor of the UN Pathways Forum, and our guest, His Excellency Ismael Gaspar-Martins, who is the permanent representative of Angola to the United Nations. Ambassador Gaspar-Martins is both a diplomat and also an expert in economics, in trade issues, in development issues, and I hope that we will learn a great deal from him this evening. I would also like to welcome the wife of His Excellency, Luisa Gaspar-Martins, who is joining us. And also, we have another very special guest, Tete Antonio, who is the permanent representative, I should say the permanent observer of the African Union Commission to the United Nations. Ambassador Antonio, when we last met, we were, I think, in your office at the United Nations when my boss, President Michael Adams of FDU, and your boss, His Excellency Jean Ping, signed an historic memorandum of understanding between FDU and the African Union Commission. And under this agreement, FDU has pledged to support the development of a Pan-African university, and the African Union Commission has pledged to assist us in our global learning programs. And we hope that this evening's event will just be the first of many collaborations between our two institutions. I should add that tonight's program is the first of a four-part series that the UN Pathways program will be sponsoring on African issues this semester. On March 10th, we will be on the Metropolitan Campus, where we will be joined by the permanent representative from Rwanda. On March 24th, we will be back here in Florem with the permanent representative from Sierra Leone. And then our series will culminate on April 7th, back on the Metro Campus, when we will be joined again by Ambassador Antonio. However, after witnessing what will surely be a ruthless interrogation of this evening's guest, you may have second thoughts about whether to return. We surely hope you don't. And with no further ado, I will turn proceedings over to Ambassador Kamal.
Master Gaspar-Martins, it's a pleasure to have you here at Fairleigh Dickinson. I notice that you are here under the watchful eyes of the Ambassador of the African Union, and who wants to be sure that you stay on the straight and the narrow path, and under the even more watchful eyes of Mrs. Gaspar-Martins, who wants to be sure that you don't get carried away by the attractive girls at Fairleigh Dickinson. And so I'm sure you will be careful in keeping your eyes down on paper and not looking too much at the audience. But you are here at Fairleigh Dickinson, where we really do not know much about Angola. We know that it is somewhere in Africa, and we know that it has been very friendly to Cuba, which is bad news always in the United States. And so I will be asking you a bit about why can't you choose better friends? Why must you go for the Cubans rather than for others? But tell us something to open the debate, something about Angola. Is it a small country? Is it a big country? Does it have many people? What language does it speak? Why does it speak that language? What is the way of life? What is the culture of Angola? Are you a good country? Are you good people? Or are you people of questionable character?
Well, we are, Ambassador Kamal, first of all, let me say that I am I have to apologize to everybody for being rude, coming late to such a gathering. Which,
but that was not because of Angola, it was because of New York traffic.
New York traffic, and I was trying to follow something much more technologically advanced, like GPS, instead of following the instructions that Ambassador Kamal put on paper. And I remember, let me first say that when I first came to the United States, I spent my first weekend, I think I arrived on Friday, in New York, and I spent my first weekend, Saturday and Sunday, at a small place called Madison, New Jersey, which is somewhere just across the bridge. At the time, and this is some years ago, I'm talking about 1961. So my gray hair speaks for that. So that's when I first came to the United States. And so I was telling, my wife Lily, Madison is not too far from, so when they told me that I should leave at 5 o'clock, that's okay, an hour. And then when I looked at the paper exactly to see the direction, I said, I told my driver, this is a bit farther than that. But now, Angola. Angola is a place which I think deserves being not just visited, and the people of Angola, because I think we are friendly. We'd like to see some of you to come in contact with Angola directly, not just through me or through Lily or to Ambassador Tete, but directly with Angola. Angola is big. It's about twice the size of Texas, so that's fairly big. If we were a state here in the United States, we would be probably the biggest state of the Union. Angola is a country with a history which dates back to the first contact with the European civilization, let's call it, colonialism, back in the 1500s, when the Portuguese first arrived in Angola, 1498 to be exact. And so our contacts with the rest of the world dates back that much. And at that time also, let me say that we had kingdoms, including a kingdom called the Kingdom of Congo, which was very much with the capital in Angola, what is Baza Congo,